G'day folks, welcome to part 2 of the autopsy of this 253 Holden V8. I've been removing a few bolts in the meantime, and I've got some of the manifold bolts out. These ones are going to be fairly difficult because they're right near the cooling galleries, but I've got the rocker assemblies off. These are obviously non-adjustable rockers. Hydraulic tappets, or sorry, hydraulic lifters make up for that. A lot of cars often use, for their overhead cam engines, they often use hydraulic tappets to eliminate the need for adjustment, but in this case these are hydraulic lifters with push rods and fixed solid rockers. Pretty straightforward. Also in pretty bad condition, so they can all go in the bin. Same with the push rods. Very rusty and worn. There's a bit of oil getting through them, but not much. The oil pump is dead as it is. There's really very little oil getting to them. And that's how these engines feed oil to the top end. It goes up through the push rods. But of course, if there's no oil pressure, it won't go there. And there was a tiny bit showing up towards the end of the run. There's oil at the top end, and I eventually had some spraying out on the floor the last time I ran it, a couple of months ago. These look just like 350 Chevy rockers, to be honest. I've seen inside a few old Mercruiser V8s at the scrapyard. The Marine Chevy 350 by Mercruiser, and they look pretty much identical. Mind you, they were completely covered in rust because they'd been submerged in salt water, so I couldn't salvage them. But either way, yeah, still got a bit of oil in them, but the oil's barely making it up there. Definitely not enough oil to pressurise the lifters, and that's one key thing. Hydraulic lifters need oil in them like a hydraulic system. Without oil they become noisy as hell and they don't open the valves when they're supposed to. I'm going to end up with a mess on the floor. And I need a scrap bin that doesn't have holes in it. Either way, I think I better work on trying to get these bolts out. The rattle gun won't move them, so I'm going to get the breaker bar out and try and either break them free or break them off. Otherwise I'll have to take the heads and everything off together, which isn't impossible. I'll just take all the head bolts out and lift the whole assembly off. Alright, let's see if we can get this intake manifold off. I've already broken this bolt and these two off, as they are completely seized in there, but with a bit of luck I'll be able to pry it off without having to take the heads off with it. The rest of these are already free. Nicely cemented in there with oxide and crap. Busted one. I'm running out of air. Really need to upgrade the compressor one day. Mind you, the best thing about my compressor is you can't really even hear it. Twin hermetic refrigeration compressors. They've been there for the last 3 or 4 years now and still work without complaint. Busted off too. fix this ring on the end of the spindle. It doesn't hold the sockets on. Pretty sure that one broke. At least I think it did. Oh, it didn't break. I just must have forgotten about it. Damn you. That's better. I might be able to get the damn thing off now. I thought I broke that one. There we go. That's how you get an intake manifold off. Okay. Oh yeah, it's worse than I first thought. Okay. So, here's a lesson on corrosion problems with Holden V8s. That is not good. Eaten through, eaten oversized, eaten into the bolt passages, and just looking rather nasty. That's not good. That's completely blocked. Just from oxide by the looks of it. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to go through somewhere. No, sorry, that's a blanking one. They're not supposed to go through, but it's still been eaten all the way through. Same with that one there. It's been badly eaten, almost breached. Probably was weeping for a while. Yeah, back ones don't go through. There's nothing there for them to go through to. But still, it's breached into that bolt cavity and almost started weeping out the sides. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Yuck. The heads might be alright, but they've been cooked numerous times, so I'm definitely not keeping them. And you can see where the water's been sitting in the intakes. I had to break this engine free before it'd even turn over. So it's done pretty well considering. But I'll keep the coil and the adapter plate, but the rest of that intake is scrap metal. Lifters and things, well, none of that's going to be any good because it hasn't had any decent oil pressure. But you can certainly see which cylinders had the water in them. That one. They're still clean. Yeah, it's just 1, 2, 3, and these 4 here have had water sitting in the intakes or even in the cylinder itself. Looks pretty nasty down there. Oh, that's how you get the intake off when it's rather stuck. Okay, I've got the timing chain and sprockets off. They'll be handy for something, some other project. They're a bit worn though. So I guess the next best thing is to take the camshaft out. The retainer is pretty simple. It's a big bolt with a through hole to let any air out of the oil supply rail. These are both oil supply rails down there. The retainer simply pops in like that. Sort of acts as a thrust bearing of sorts, I guess. But of course it won't come out without taking the lifters out. And the lifters don't look too bad. Of course, with that oil pressure they'd be noisy as hell. And of course, the way these lifter systems work is the cam pushes the lifter up and it opens the valve via the rocker. But because there's no adjusting screw on here, oil pressure forced into the lifter through these little holes is what adjusts the pressure on the spring inside. There is a spring, there's a top plate in them, which is that there, retained by a couple of clips. But they become very noisy when there's no oil pressure, because it's compressing too much and all the tappets and everything start clattering and carrying on. So it's crucial that hydraulic lifters have good oil pressure. Also, if the spring breaks or collapses or they become blocked or whatever, they become very noisy as well. So, yeah, they come out fairly easy. If they're really badly worn, you'll find that end will be flared out and you won't get them past the side of the block. You can't actually pull them out. But these are coming out pretty easy, which is surprising considering this engine hasn't had oil pressure for quite a while. Yeah, probably still usable, but I wouldn't trust them. They can all go in the bin. Next we'll get the camshaft out. Oh, well, the camshaft came out pretty easy. Definitely a lot of wear on the lobes though. It suffered because of the oil loss. Bearings don't look too good either. Most of the water's come in through the distributor drive end, probably because the engine was stored outside for a while. Yeah, there. It's just rainwater coming down on the distributor and flooding down through the mounting hole in the block. But overall, yeah, there's a fair bit of wear on that cam. Not particularly good, doesn't matter. These things are a dime a dozen anyway, so you can go in the scrap bin. I guess I better start breaking these head studs free and remove the heads. I like that. It's a Crow cam, number 666, the cam of the beast. Oh, what a shame it's not such a beast anymore. But yeah, I kind of expect a sharper profile if it really was the cam of the beast, so I'm guessing this is an impersonator. Oh well, Brad just said to hang on to it so we can compare it to the one that comes out of his engine, so yeah. Not really worth fixing though, considering it's a bit worn off. Alright, let's take some heads off. I'm not talking about the video game type of taking heads off, I'm talking about actually taking heads off. I've broken these bolts free already, so it's not normally this easy. Ooh, a lot of carbon in there. This engine's had low compression for a while too. Very nasty. Doesn't look like the head gasket's blown anyway. Okay, well she's pretty damn nasty inside. A hell of a lot of carbon and other crap built up in there. Some of these cylinders have terribly low compression because of bad rings or burnt other scoring issues. I'll try and turn it over. Yeah, pretty nasty. A lot of rust and other crap. Yeah. Some of the valves look like they've been seeing some action, but I think the other issue is that some of these valves are also badly rusted and or burnt, and they're letting gas out prematurely. With a bit of TLC and a lot of work, this thing would come good again, but after running with low oil pressure, you'd have to redo absolutely everything. It'd be a full strip the block, tank it, hone it, or well, probably rebore it, and buy a new set of pistons, get the crank redone or replaced, new camshaft, lifters, push rods, valves, everything. Not worth it for a 253. So it can all go in the scrap bin. It's a bit of a shame, there's some nice bits on here. I might save some of the valves just for small engine rebuilds. I recall using a one of these valves here. I used one of these for the Howard rotary hoe engine. The old valve was so badly corroded and pitted, it was actually had a razor's edge on the outside. It was that bad. So yeah, I might keep some of these valves, but apart from that, the rest of it's junk. So I'm going to strip the rest of this down, and yeah, we'll go from there. It almost looks like this head gasket's too big. Well, there's a hell of a lot of overhang there. I've never seen that before. With that much carbon built up in that gap there, it would have created a hell of a spot for detonation. Pinging. It seems unusual that they have that much of a space. Normally I see the head gasket come right up to the edge of the bore. I wonder if this gasket's meant for a 308 or something. Yeah, just seems odd. It's a bit of a margin there. Oh well, that'll do this part of the series. I don't have time to get to the bottom of it today, but we'll do that another day. So thanks for watching, guys and girls. Hope you learned something. That head gasket looks way too big. I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be like that, but it doesn't seem like it though. Not where it can build up that much carbon.